Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome with Ali Tarnishi at Ali Dose of Inspiration. As you know, every Monday we bring guests from all over the world to share their story of rebirth, hope, and resiliency. For sharing those stories, just to give the audience the blueprint that it can be done, to give the audience that when there is rejection, there is a God protection to guide us in the right direction, and just to show that it's not our permanent position, that we have to keep pushing, we have to keep doing. And Nadish Montes, she was going through a self-confidence, and she said, I'm not going to stay there. And she decided to take her life in hand and move forward and bounce back and come out of it as a victorious and didn't stay as a victim. So welcome, my friend Nadish Montes.
Hi, Ali. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a guest for this podcast. And I'm just going to give a little information about Nadish. Nadish Montes is a certified personal development and leadership executive coach. She helps women build self confidence as she walked the talk. She was there and live courageously so they can successfully lead their lives and business. Be able to pivot mentally without being rattled by life demand and work command. I love that. She is the host of Unleashed Unapologetically podcast. Don't be apologizing when you are introducing yourself because that's related to self-confidence. Love that. Certified professional bridal consultant, Nadish began her professional career as an educator with 20 years of early childhood experience. While in education, she took the role of assistant director and leader and educational coach and mentor. Wow, amazing, amazing. Like I see leadership, I see confidence, I see everything. Tell us more. I know I put everything there, and share with us a little bit about Nadish, about her journey as she refused to drown in the obstacles of life.
Thanks, Ali. Thanks for having me, and good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are, everybody. Yes, it was not really, well, I always say to start, I always tell people, I always tell the women that I coach and I teach, you must wear your confidence the same way you wear your stilettos. So if you are the type who
Can you say
wear
that?
your
Can you say that
stilettos,
again? I love it. Can you wear your confidence?
wear your confidence the same way you wear your stilettos.
Wow.
And one thing I also always remember to address when I speak is to remind you all that confidence, you were not born with it. You had to learn to build it. And the same way we build resiliency is the same way we build confidence. So for me, I was never someone who accepted confidence because even when other people around me used to always say, "Oh my God, you're so confident, you got it. You go out, you make decisions." I used to always see myself as, no, I'm not confident. And I would hide behind it. I never used to love being in front of a mirror looking at myself because to me it felt really weird and I really didn't like the thought of it. And at some point in my where I started really working hard on myself and my confidence is because for many years in my young age and my when I got into my adulthood, I never really loved who I was. I never really accepted who I was. I always felt that, there was something missing. I had no purpose. And on top of it, I had the breakups and the makeups all the times in relationships that were always making me feel like, there it is. I'm right about the way I think about myself. So when I came to a point where things were really hard for me in 2016 and I had the breakdown where I felt like everything was lost around me. I felt like I had to work so hard making sure that I had to look into my finances, my relationship and all that were all broken. I started working on myself because at that point I was from a size 4 to a size 00. And I'm not even making it up, because I
Wow.
was so into myself. I was beating myself. I was still going to work. I was still leading. I was still making sure that I show up at a 150% at my job. And I was giving it all. But inside, that internal part was not well. It was not happy. It was not feeling great. And it needed time to heal. It needed time to process. It needed time to work and understand what exactly I needed to work on. And I started realizing that I needed to work on myself.
Mm,
And the minute that I started to work on myself, I started to build myself. I started to acknowledge who I was. I
mhm,
started to assess those little places and areas that were not serving me, and
mhm,
decided how I was going to work on me. So I started telling everybody in my surroundings that I needed to do me. I needed to work on me. And not realizing that it was hurtful when I say it to other people, but to me, I
mhm,
needed to say it. And I had no choice than to make the decision to work on me and do me. It may sound selfish, but
mhm,
guess what? When we are working on becoming the best version of ourselves,
mhm,
there's that part where we have to do ourselves, and it's not selfish, you know? So I had to get into the process of working on myself, get to the process of building that, and earn all those aspects of confidence. And I started working on those pillars of confidence that I teach in my, program as well. Those four pillars are my health, my wealth, my relationship, and my spiritual being, and which is my personal development, pretty much, because I need to always be mentally sane,
mhm,
studying, reading, and forming myself, but also keep myself at a calm place, at a place where, I'm humble.
mhm,
And when I started realizing all that, I realized that the person people used to see before, she was not a confident woman. She was an arrogant person. She was always showing up,
mhm,
to show up. She was looking for people to validate who she was. And she was the type of person who wanted people to see her. So it was never confident. So we have to know, when we
mhm,
are shaping ourselves, when we building ourselves to be the confident person we need to be in our lives,
mhm.
one thing we don't want to be is arrogant. One thing we don't want to be is disrespectful. We want to be humble. We want to be authentic, because when we show up that way, that's when the world falls into our lap, and without even having to put a facade. And that person had to disappear.
Mm, I love that. So you really covered some point that's very important. It is about the work that need to be done inside. And that's a lot of people run away from not facing themselves. They are scared to look at the mirror. It's not that they are ugly. They're just afraid to see
Mm-hmm.
the truth that's laid behind there on that mirror. And I like when you mentioned the four pillar of confidence that every person has
Right.
to go through that, because if you don't really fill your mind with the knowledge, with the education, with the book to read, you are not really going to take care of the social part, how to communicate, how to
Yes.
speak, how to show up. And if you don't take care of your finance, you are not going to take care of your emotions. So it's a circle.
Yes. It
And
is.
it's
It
it's
is.
it's it's lovely. And when you said about the arrogant part and stuff, there is a saying that we say in Morocco. It said like the empty cup, when it's blown by the wind, it make a lot of noise. So that's why we see a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people. But the one that's humble and full, the wind won't blow it. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make a lot of
Mm-hmm.
noise. So some people, you see them like they have nothing in their mind, and you see them like talking, and
Yes.
it's so arrogant and so stuff, but they are empty inside. They have nothing to share. So
Yes.
it's so powerful when you share that. That's people need really to dig deeper inside of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
find their confidence, and it's not easy said than done. It's need work.
Yes. It's a process. It is indeed.
Hmm. So, my friend Nadij, now you said you were struggling with that big time. You must notice a big difference. You must notice like the people used to look at you in a way when you used to be like not really confident, to the lady that
Mm-hmm.
now this is unconfident, this is confident. So are you
Mm-hmm.
still scared to
Mm-hmm.
look at the mirror now?
No, I am not. Actually, I do teach, women in my group, women who are taking courses from me, I do teach them about the self-love,
Mm-hmm.
care, because it is important for us to build that in ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the best aspects of building our confidence is being able to love ourselves, because if we are not able to do that, what will happen is we go back to the same, we collapse, pretty much we collapse,
Mm-hmm.
because we would think that we're making the work, but each time we make a step, because there's not that self-love, we go back to square one. What we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to happen is when we are working on ourselves is keep going back. So we have to be able to embrace all the parts of ourselves. We are pretty inside and out. We are beautiful inside and out. But people always look at the outside version more than they look at the inside version. If
Mm-hmm.
you do not accept your inner self, if you do not accept your flaws, if you do not embrace, everything that you used to do or say that were wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and say to yourself, you know what, I have said it. I know it was wrong to say. Let me change the way I approach things so I can be better in my approach.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing the work. So being able to do that, being able to assess yourself and stand in front of a mirror to do that at times, yes, it's not easy, but it's a process, and it's what's that's part of the learning. And me, one thing I always tell, in my circle is that when a practice, this is what a practice is.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when we go to a doctor, we go to a practice.
Mm-hmm.
When we go to a lawyer's firm, it's a practice, because they
Mm-hmm.
have their practice. They go there every day. They have something specific they're working on. So our lives are, they are practices. We need to know how to practice loving ourselves. So the minute it becomes our practice, it becomes an everyday routine. It's that habit that is formed. And at the end, you get that mastery that is part of it. Because once you get used to doing something all over and over and every day, it sinks in and it gets easier for you to just show up and be you. So when you look at yourself, you practice looking at yourself, you practice talking positive to yourself, you practice embracing your inner self
Mm-hmm.
more. Not that you're not embracing the outer, but you need to really embrace the inner, the part of you that
Mm-hmm.
really shows the flaws, because for you to have flaws, it is a psychological thing. It
Mm-hmm.
comes from the inner, the subconscious. So when you are able to face that and assess that and
Mm-hmm.
embrace it and say to yourself, you know what, that's we can make the change, but we
Mm-hmm.
have to do it one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It is so beautiful. So, that's a practice. And I would really say, as much as we practice our looking at ourselves in the mirror, look at the inner self in the mirror and you'll be
Mm.
happy.
Love it. Love it. 100%. It's the core that we need to take care of. Just like someone like painting the house from outside and the inside ugly. It's like
Yes.
take care of the inside instead of like saying to people, "Hey, look at my house from outside. Look
Yes.
nice and shiny." But if they go inside, you will be scared, and you are even yourself
Yes.
scared. So it is a process. It is a priority, I would say,
Mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm.
inside is what is keeping us going. And what if the
Absolutely.
inside is perfect, if the inside is balanced, if the inside's aligned, or
Yes.
said, if the cup is full, it will overflow. And when it
Yes.
overflow, that's when we share with people.
We give it back.
They
Yes.
give it back, and you don't even care that people will say, "Look at her, the way she walk. Look at the way she talk. Look the way
Mm-hmm.
she mention everything." But that doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
because as long as I do it with passion, as long as I do it with alignment, as long as I do it with who I am, I'm doing it with a good intention. But some
Yes.
people
Yes.
they lack the self confidence. They will say, "Look at that person, is so arrogant. Look at that person, they think they
Mm-hmm.
are." But that's just
Mm-hmm.
their self confidence is low, and they look at everyone as if they are arrogant and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, and I like the fact that you said having the intention, because
Mm-hmm.
everything is with the right intention. If
Mm-hmm.
we do not have the right intention, what happens is, we portray something that is not, and instead of portraying something that is not, just again, be yourself, be your accept who you are, and then bring that true person out, because
Mm-hmm.
the true person out, once it gets that person gets comfortable, that person is, let's say you have to give a speech, you it's gonna be, you're gonna find that your feet are shaking, right? But it's okay because you own the stage at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute you know that in your head that you own the stage, whether it is your personal life
Mm-hmm.
or your business life, you own the stage. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to keep that in your mindset refreshed all the time, that you have that control. And
Mm-hmm.
at some point in our lives, the control is us not letting people validate what we have to say or do anymore, but it's us making decisions that are working best for us and be able to just show up unapologetically. There goes the word.
Exactly, unapologetically, unapologetically. So a lot of people like it. Sometimes it gets so painful. Sometimes it gets so like someone said sorry, and come again and say sorry. Okay, I hear you say sorry, but that's the self-confidence. That's the low self-esteem that people like. They keep coming and say sorry. I'm sorry. I really apologize. Okay, it become like to the point that become annoying. But when
Hmm.
the person is have that self-confidence, have that control, as you mentioned, and we will that will bring us back into the next point. You can share the four pillar for self-confidence and share us how you help women to wear that confidence as they wear the what? The silo.
They're stilettos.
Here we
They're
go.
stilettos.
So
They're high heels.
exactly, yeah. So by wearing your confidence, I love it because I really like this metaphor. It's like you wear yourself, you're confident because when
Hmm.
you walk with confidence, everyone will respect you. Every word you say, people will listen. If you are
Hmm.
shaking and your head down and your shoulders shrinking and you're saying something, everyone will don't want to take you seriously. Even you have like your PhD or you have like a really important information to share, but if you are not confident, nobody will take you seriously. But when you
And
are, oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, and also, there's another thing. We showing up with confidence. You may not be confident in all aspects of life,
Mm-hmm.
but there's an aspect that you are more confident on than the other. And
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you don't want is when you show up, for you to show up with the expectations that people have to see you for a confident person, if you're not confident. So
Mm-hmm.
I always say, that's why I said be who you are. And when we working on the confidence, we working on aspects of, yes, knowing how to show up and stand up and do all that, but you need to first earn yourself and own yourself and believe in yourself, because the
Mm-hmm.
confidence is about trusting you, loving you, accepting you,
Mm-hmm.
embracing you, because it's all that those words that, vocabulary words are strong, because
Mm-hmm.
when we apply them, now we can work in every other aspects or every other things that we need to build in the confidence in. So
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem, self-confidence for many could be really hard to do,
Mm-hmm.
because like you were saying or a few minutes ago, some people, the way they carry themselves, or they think of other people, there's that, lack of self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but at the same time, even someone who shows up with, that aspect of arrogance, and coming up, and, owning the stage, that
Mm-hmm.
person can also have a lack of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not because they're confident really that they show up. It's
Mm-hmm.
because they may find themselves, saying, okay, what I have no choice, then I have to just do what is presented. And
Mm-hmm.
they do, and now they faking being it one thing, but now we don't want somebody to come in and be condescending on other people and then
Mm-hmm.
call themselves confident.
Mm-hmm.
And many people we have seen, you know in our world, we have seen a lot of people show up that way, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean they are confident.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to know how to differentiate, what shows arrogance, what shows confidence.
100%, 100%. But what I mean when you mentioned that earlier is like some people they have the potential, they have the knowledge, they have everything that it takes, so they can
Hmm.
convey the message. But the way to convey it or the way they bring themselves is just show like it show that people won't take them seriously because they are not confident. And yes, you are right. I agree with you 100%. There is some people that they will show that they are so arrogant and overconfident, which will show that it's almost kind of like show off, and people won't
Mm-hmm.
take them seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like what I mean. It's totally different. That's my son. Just give me 1 minute. I'm almost done. This is part of the confidence. You have to, if something come up, you have to embrace
Hi.
it and say hi. So talking about the confidence, you just have to be sometimes like over confidence can be also at your disadvantage.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that. So for that, it's kind of like it can bring like yeah, just take
I
the
like the
paper.
green shirt.
Yeah, so he was trying like not to show the camera. He was trying like to go underneath what he was. So that's what I mean. It's a part of like sometimes when you become overconfident, it can be for your disadvantage, because people will
Mm-hmm.
say, "Look at this arrogant person. Look at this person
Mm-hmm.
that's just trying to show," or maybe as you said, they are not really confident, but just trying to hide something. So
Mm-hmm.
to get people attention to show they are confident, but it's not really the way that confidence should be.
Right, right,
And
absolutely.
my friend Nadij, now I know I will share with you like for myself as I wasn't confident. Like
Mm.
I was confident at the beginning, then I lost it, then
Mm-hmm.
I got it back. But during that
Mm-hmm.
time when I wasn't confident, it was painful.
Mm-hmm.
It was painful. Like sometimes you see people that they have less potential, and you see them
Mm-hmm.
having less than you, but you can't stand up, you can't speak up, you can do something, and it's so painful. He said, "Why I
Yeah.
can't do it? Why I can't that position? Because I don't have that leadership skill. I don't have that confidence. I don't have that that strength to be able
Mm-hmm.
to show up." And the moment, as you mentioned earlier about the mirror, I used to be like scared to face the mirror, because
Mm-hmm.
that is an inward work that need to be done. That's a work
Mm-hmm.
that need to be uh, taken care of and polished inside. Because if you don't have that peace with who you are inside, it's keep going showing up in your life. It's keep going
Yes.
happening. And a lot of people spend 25% in their life doing the thing that they don't really like, and 75% to invest, to rebuild, to rechange everything. So if this, I just would like to share this before we move next. When I find my voice, when I find my confidence, I felt like unstoppable. I felt like you
Mm.
can take me now from the mirror. I can just like take picture, take selfie, wherever I go. Come on, that's enough. So it is as you mentioned, it is self love. You need to
Mm-hmm.
love yourself. You need
Mm-hmm.
to be a friend with yourself. You need to be your own motivator, your own
Yes.
cheerleader, your own friend that say, okay, I don't care what people say. I used to wait for approval from people. Then I said, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? This voice inside that you've been ignoring for all this time had enough and want to come out and share with the world that enough is enough. I am in control now, and I
Yes.
am be my own counselor. I give counseling. I listen to my own advice that I give to people. So with that being said, I was so many years that the moment I decided I have to make a vision for my life,
Mm-hmm.
I have to have a vision. I have to have a why
Mm-hmm.
and my core value. And anything that I
Mm-hmm.
want to do in life has to align with that vision, have to align with
Yes.
that why, have to align with my core value. You could come and say, okay, I'll give you $200,000. Would you go work as a prostitute? No, I won't, because that's not aligning with my core value. Some people will do
Right.
it. Some people will do it. Oh, it's just money. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how's your reputation? How's the people look at you? What are you preaching? So I made a
Mm-hmm.
vision that I'm not afraid to share it. A well-connected, balanced, fulfilled life. That's my vision. A
Mm-hmm.
well-connected has to be connected to the connector with myself, with the point that you mentioned, the four pillar, which is the
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, the emotional, the social, the financial, and the physical, which is
Yes.
the food I eat, the exercise I give my body, and the mission statement. I will use the same thing to make that happen. And my core value, which is family, number one, which is respect, integrity, authenticity, and
Mm-hmm.
connection. So
Mm-hmm.
this is when I
Mm-hmm.
found that my friend Nadish, I can tell you, I know my purpose. I know what I'm going. I know who I align
Mm-hmm.
myself with. I know who I want to work with. I know which
Yeah.
job I want to do. And it make it easier. So find your vision, find your why.
Yes.
Back to you, my
I
friend.
love that.
You,
I love that. Yes, we have to in this life, in this world that we are in, as much as we just last year itself,
Mhm,
there's a lot of things that many of us we were not expecting to see happen in our lives.
mhm,
Maybe, and it's a very, at that time before the pandemic, I would
mhm,
say maybe 1% of the people in the United States, I'm saying, um, probably were doing remote learning, because not everywhere were, states were doing remote teaching, or
mhm,
families were teaching their kids at home, homeschooling. But yet the year had shown not only families had to do homeschooling, but
mhm,
teachers also had to be part of it. And it was general. And
mhm,
it's not just that, it's even the entire corporate, the entire setting that we're living in. We had to turn our lives in a virtual life
mhm.
because of the pandemic. So it's just to show us that things can change at any time. And
100%.
because of that, if
Mhm,
we do not show up for ourselves,
mhm,
if we do not start thinking about where we want to see ourselves in the next year, not even in the upcoming weeks and months,
mhm,
then where are we going? So we have to put ourselves, we
mhm,
at that place, we have to put our values as high as possible, really embracing them, and set them into the foundation. That those are the core. Plant the seeds,
mhm,
because we are that person who's going to help other people grow. So therefore, when we build ourselves, when we build the confidence, we are building, we are seeding, we are putting seeds into the ground as to help other people. So as we water ourselves, we prune ourselves, we're making sure that we have all the nutrients, we
mhm.
getting those, just so somebody who comes in for fresh air underneath that tree can have a good fruit to eat from. And I do analogies all the time. I use metaphor
I
all the
love
time,
it. Me
as
too.
you can see.
It's
So
good.
it's just, yes, it's just to show you that
Mhm,
that's what it is. And in our lives, in our cultures, especially you and I, Ali,
mhm,
who are coaches, and we are helping other people build that in themselves, it
mhm,
is really essential that we bring the aspects of what exactly we want and why do we want it.
mhm. 100%, 100%. I love that. I love it. It's all about why we want it and how we want it, and just planting
Mhm.
the seed. It's because if you don't plant the seed, you don't come and say, "Where is my harvest? Why you didn't plant anything?
Yes.
What do you expect?"
Yes.
Just like
Yes.
someone give the teacher, like if the exam time, and they give the white paper, and he's excited. Ah, I can't wait for my mark. Why you didn't put anything in the paper?
Yep, that's
so
exactly it.
so we have about 8 minutes, my friend. I just would like you to share with us, like, those this formula for the self confidence, those four pillar, and for leadership as well, because as that I would like to hear, and the audience can really learn from that, and get, this is the formula, this is the four pillar that Nadij use for self-confidence, or even myself, I can relate to what you're sharing, because it is almost like a formula that can work with everyone that they are willing to do the work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, in the starter of it all, there is that strategy that I use that is called the VIM strategy. No, it's not the VIM store that some of you may have known. It's the VIM that is standing for visualize, internalize, and mesmerizing. So when you are visualizing, you are ready to to work into your focus. What is it about your mindset you want to work on? And I relate that to one of the pillars that is the pillars of our personal development, which is the spiritual. When we're working on ourselves, we're working on our development. We want to be better. We want to educate ourselves. And it's not just that. What is it that we are helping other people do and solve? So what is the purpose that we are here to serve, and what's the passion behind it, because we need to find our passion. So
Mhm.
therefore you need to have that focus, right? You need to have your mindset right, and not where you sink into the negativity all the time. So we want to prepare you to work into your inner CEO mindset. I always talk to the ladies that way, just so you could start preparing that foundation for yourself. It's thinking about yourself and visualizing where you want to be and the focus you want to have. And as we go into the internalization is pretty much, you getting into setting your attitude for yourself. Where do you see yourself with the attitude that you have, in
Mhm.
terms of the way you carry yourself, the way you embrace life around you, the way you attract things around you and people around you? How are you showing up
Mhm.
to people to help other people grow as a leader, as a woman of confidence? Where do you fit? And it's very important that you work into that. So to mesmerizing into the mesmerization of everything, you want to be able to set into your mindset, right? So it's about taking I already spoke about the focus, the attitude, but now it's not only the attitude, it's about the actions. What actions are you taking? So the actions you're taking are what's going to help you work on those 4 pillars. So
Mhm.
your actions are helping you develop yourselves around your health. Are you making sure that you're eating healthy? Are you working out? Are you sleeping well? Especially for, someone who wants to who feels rattled. And I specifically said feeling rattled by life demands and work commands, because those two are what we call the everyday life and the 9 to 5 life. That's what it
Mhm.
is, pretty much. It's me being fancy, by the way.
Mhm.
But hey, life demands and work commands is the lifestyle that you have every day when you wake up, what
Mhm.
you do, the family, the children, the people around you, the expenses and the in and out. And then your work commands are your 9 to 5. What do you not want to have anymore? When you go to work, how do you feel? How does it make you feel? Do you feel like you're wasting all your time and you're not gaining anything? So you need to have that action taken, your mindset ready, just so when you go into your 4 pillars and you start working on your health, you know how to develop your mental state, you know how to develop your physics, and working on yourself and working on your being, just so you can always show up. And
Mm.
from your health, you want to also work into your wealth. If you do not have the right mindset, again, you're not going to settle for your wealth. You need to see yourself there. You need to always see yourself that you are capable to receive any abundance that come your way, and you have to set that momentum for yourself. It's what comes into you and how you want it to be spreading in your life, in your house, in your heart, in your soul. So
Mhm.
how are you receiving the abundance that comes to you? And it's
Mm.
not only that. So we talked about relationship, right?
Mhm.
Remember at the beginning I said how my broken relationship had brought me to a place where I was no longer myself. Yes. So
Mhm.
we want to make sure that all these are working
Break
together,
up and
because
make
they
up.
do.
Break up and make up relationship. I love that way you shared
Ali,
that. It's like that. Like
I can't with you.
no, no. When you mentioned that, I just got to mind. You shared
I
it. I said I need to
I
write that
love
down.
that.
Break up and make.
I love that. Thank you, Ali. But hey, just like Ali said, but you want to work on
Mhm.
your relationship in terms of what do we bring to the table in partnership. And
Mhm.
relationship is not only really when you are with someone.
Mhm.
Relationship with your families, with your children, with your spouse, husband, wives, you know colleagues at work,
Even with
best
yourself.
friends,
Even with yourself.
everybody.
Even with ourselves.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's why we said it starts within.
Mm-hmm.
It starts in the preparation of the self-love. Because remember, at first I said, if you do not love yourself, it gets hard for other people to get to know us. So
100%.
when we work on the relationship, it is the self-love that we work on that can help us teach other people how to love us the right way, because we have a certain way we want to be seen and loved and accepted. And if we do not prepare people to take us that way, what's going to happen is we fall into the, the self, we expecting too much, or we want people to validate. That's where it goes into the validation. And sometimes we run away, and the imposter syndrome, we don't want to show up anymore, or we bring the generational curses, because that's how our great grandparents used to do things. And
Mm-hmm.
it comes in, and it stays in it. So what we want to do is working on that relationship, working on cleaning up, cleanse, totally cleanse, making
Decluttering.
sure, yes, and you start preparing yourself just so that foundation can be there for the people around you. So mindset is important, and it helps you take action. VIM, visualize, internalize, and mesmerize. Just you can go into having the right focus, the right attitude, and the right action to really work into your pillars.
Wow, 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 wow. What a good way to finish this amazing podcast, my friend. Visualize, internalize, mesmerize. It's just like it's amazing. It's all brought us to some really good point that my friend Nadi shared, because focus is a big thing. It's focus
Yes.
is everything. It's just like you have to have like that clear vision where you are heading. And focus, it has to be wrapped up in the good
Yes.
attitude, in the mindset. Because if it's not wrapped up in that, it is no action. And when you have all that put together, and you need to put that dream, that goal on paper and start working.
Yes.
But the work has take a broom and start decluttering what is
Sweeping it.
inside,
Yes.
so you can look good in that mirror. Otherwise, you will keep running away from that mirror, and the broom will follow you till you start cleaning inside.
Yes.
So it is amazing, and I love also the life demand and the work command.
Hmm.
Sometimes I read a book that's changed my life totally. It's called Day One by it's a Canadian author. I think his name is Andrew Dudley. I think, yeah, Andrew Dudley. I said, and they have two sentence everywhere. I have it on my fridge. I have it on my mirror. I have it in my bedroom. I have it here. It said, "Am I living to what is important to me, or am
Mm.
I no sorry am I living to what is important to me, or am I just satisfying a list of requirements that life has imposed on me?"
Mm. Mm.
So the
Mm.
question, the answer is yours. Are you living to what is important to you, like your family, your value, your vision, your stuff, or you are just trying to do it for your family so they can say, "Oh, good son, good daughter," or you are doing it for your friend, your colleague to impress them, or just
Yes.
trying to do that all that makeup, but you expect that breakup. So you need to follow what is there, the foundation, the base. So I don't really want to finish this amazing conversation with Nadej Montes. It's amazing. Some golden nugget been shared here. And two words, my friend, that you can share with the audience before we say goodbye, everyone.
Two words. Love yourself. Well, actually, yes, there it is.
Love yourself, 100%.
Love yourself.
Love yourself, and it's all about love. Thank you very much, my friend. And Ali, Dose of Inspiration always bring guests from all over the world that share love, share hope, share resiliency, story of resiliency, so we can learn from them and take action. Thank you very much, and till next, have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everyone.